All right, 12 and 13 are related to geometric sequence. Again, they want you to write the rule. So our rule for geometric. Now remember, these are all on the formula sheets that we gave you guys for this unit, but they won't be given to you on the final, so make sure that you include those formulas on your note card. All right, so for this one, when we're given these two terms, you want to figure out the ratio between 10 and 270. Well, the problem is that they're not exactly next to each other. So if you look at how many spaces away they are from each other, they're 3 spaces away. We're taking 6 minus 3. So 3 spaces away. In order to determine the ratio, we're figuring out the relationship between the 10 and the 270 that are 3 spaces away. So we're going to divide by 10. And you're going to take the cubed root. If for some reason you forget what the cubed root of 27 is, which is 3, you can always use your calculator to find that. So if you click on the math key, the cubed root is under number 4. All right, so now we know R. We have to figure out the first term, and you can't just say 10. 10 is not the first term. What 10 is 10 is the third term. So 10 is the third term. Remember, what we're doing is we're multiplying by 3. So if I want to get the first term, which is this one right here, I want to do the opposite of multiplying by 3, which is dividing by 3. So here I'm going to have 10 over 3. If I divide by 3 again, I'm going to have 10 over 9. So that's one way of doing it. The nth rule of 10 over 9, where the ratio is 3. So another way of doing this is by taking 10 and filling that in for the nth term. Then we don't know what the first term is, that's what we're looking for, but we now know that R is 3. Now if I'm using 10, then when I go to fill in n in the formula here, we're using the 3. So I'm saying 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, so that's going to become 3 squared. And if I divide by 3 squared, which is 9, I get my first term is 10 over 9. So that's why 10 over 9 is filling in for the first term. So you can do that either way, whichever you're more comfortable with. This. So 13 is the same as number 12. We're going to say negative 24. We need to determine the ratio. Now these are, again, 3 spaces away from each other, and that's just a coincidence. 5 minus 2 is 3. We're going to divide by negative 24. And we don't have to worry about the negatives. Oh, my pen. Alright, sorry, my pen was having some issues. Alright, so I'm going to take the cubed root of 64, which gives me a ratio of 4. So again, that fills in here. We don't know what the first term is. You can use either one of these terms to fill in the nth term. So I'm going to use the negative 24. If I use negative 24 for the nth term, I'm using 2 for n. So right here, for n, I'm going to say 2 minus 1. Okay, so this is 1. 4 to the first is just 4. So now I want to divide by 4. So negative 6 is my first term. Okay, once I have these two, I'm going to fill those in my equation. So again, I would put all those formulas on your note card. I would definitely include the summation formulas as well. And those are the bottom piece to the chart on your formula sheet. One of the things that we studied were infinite series. Right? So these two are infinite. Whenever we had an infinite series, if it was arithmetic or linear, like we see in 16, we just automatically said no sum. Now here, because r is less than 1, we can find it using our geometric infinite series sum. And that's just where the sum of the infinite series is the first term divided by 1 minus r. Okay, the first term, because we're starting here at 1, the first term then is just 2. 1 minus r, remember r is the 1/4. So we're gonna, if you guys were to simplify this, 1 minus 1/4 is 3/4. So we have 2 over 3/4, and you can either multiply by the reciprocal, or again, you guys can do this on your calculator too. Don't overthink it. Let your calculator do a lot of the work for you. You just want to group the 1 and the 1/4 in the bottom together. So we're going to say 1 minus, again, if you have the newer calculators, use alpha y equals for 1/4. If you have the older calculator, just make sure that you guys have an extra set of parentheses around the 1/4. So you'll have 4 parentheses in the bottom. So we're getting 8/3 and you guys can figure out what that is as a decimal too. I'm okay with either answer. 2.67. Right, so it'll depend on what form they want on your final. And again, it'll be multiple choice. Okay, so in this one, you guys could just sub in all of the numbers like we did on that first day. 2 times 1 plus 6 plus 2 times 2 plus 6 plus 2 times 3 plus 6. And you can go all the way up to 7. But we also learned a shortcut, if you guys look at your formula chart, where the sum of all 7, that's the one where we're using n over 2, and then the first term plus the nth term. Okay, so n is 7. We know that because we start at 1 and we go up to 7. So we're going to say 7 over 2. My first term I'm going to get by subbing in whatever is down at the bottom here. So 2 plus 6 is going to be 8. My nth term I'm going to get by subbing in whatever's at the top. So if I sub in 7 here, I get 14 plus 6, which is 20. Okay, so if you guys put this on your calculator, you guys will have your sum for all 7 terms. And again, use alpha y equals anytime you're using a fraction. Whenever you use alpha y equals, it'll keep it in fraction form for you. What is it, 8 plus 20, oh, so 28. 98. All right, our last one. Now this is geometric again, but it's finite, so make sure you're using that finite rule. And here you can see it from these are the formulas that I was telling you guys about that I would probably copy down on your calculator. So first term, 1 minus r to the power of n. And we're saying the sum of all 6. 1 minus r to the power of n over 1 minus r. Okay, so our ratio this time is 3/4. Our first term is 5. And the power of n is 6. And you want to separate the top from the bottom. So 5, 1 minus alpha y equals, again, if you've got the older calculator, just make sure this 3/4 is going in parentheses. I'm saying to the 6th power. Okay, so close up the 1 minus r, but also close up with the 5. And then divided by, again, new set of parentheses to show that 1 minus 3/4 is in the bottom. And if you want to get what that is a decimal, 16,835 divided by 1024, 16.44. There you have it. All right, so I'd like you guys to finish that gold packet, finish all of the odds tonight.